It's empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for me. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League. We're here for another episode of Transfer Talk. As we always are, 3 p.m. Transfer Talk. And there's a lot to get into. There's truly a lot to get into. But before we do all of that, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, share the stream on all your socials. If you're watching on Twitter, come join us on YouTube. The link is that you are watching this on. And yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe. We're 39 away from 400. Which is mega, which is absolutely mega. But let's get straight into what we're talking about. My systems today have been slow like my head. So apologies if it's all running ridiculously slowly. It is doing my head in. As I just change all of that. You can't actually see me. Big up to Chris, big up to Kenny, both in the chats as well. But yeah, we're talking Antoine Griezmann. Pep has made contact to Griezmann about to move to Manchester City. There's some, obviously, as we all know, Barcelona are in a lot of financial difficulties. They have to reduce their wage budget, which means they have to get off one of their big sort of big wages. So Griezmann or someone of that ilk is probably the player that's got to go. But Barcelona obviously in a lot of deep trouble. So yeah, they're looking at selling a Griezmann. Obviously we know City are looking at Kane, but Kane is looking like he's being priced out of a move by Daniel Levy. So we'll see how this goes on. We're also talking Mikkel Damsgaard. Liverpool very interested in the young attacker. As we know, scored a brilliant goal against England, a very good set piece. He's been one of the... There's that guy, isn't there? In every major tournament that we do, there's always that breakout star. And I feel this year, I think the breakout star is probably Mikkel Damsgaard. I think he's been absolutely superb in the Euros. I really do... I enjoy watching him play. I think he's got a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. He's really good with the ball. He doesn't look afraid. You think, what, a semi-final against England at Wembley, arguably probably the biggest occasion this young guy's ever played in, and he was able to produce a bit of magic that he did at Wembley. So I think the future for Damsgaard is extremely high, and I would like to see him go to Liverpool. The only reason being, I think Liverpool are really good with their young players. I think they're really good with youth. I don't think United are. I think United, sometimes they'll get it right. For example, Greenwood. Sometimes they won't get it right. Twanzebe. A lot of the time, they don't get it right. So I would love to see Mikkel Damsgaard at Liverpool because I think Jurgen would do a great job with this young man. And I think that the players he'll be around would also do wonders for Mikkel Damsgaard. So I would love to see that, but we'll get more into that in a second. We're also talking Saul Niguez. Chelsea are currently chasing him as well as Liverpool. Liverpool aren't looking at him until they get a winger, though, or forward. Pogba, obviously, Pogba news has come out. The Manchester United have valuation for Paul Pogba. And yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Look, they're valuing him similar to what Real Madrid are valuing Rafael Varane. So no real shock there, no real surprise when I announce or say what the fee is. And we're also talking Nuno Tavares. Arsenal have signed the young defender from Benfica. So we'll be talking about that and how this improves Arsenal and how we all feel that Arsenal's transfer window is going to go. Obviously, this is their first signing, with many more expected to come in. But we are obviously into all of that. Let me just go through some comments whilst I get all my information up. As I said, apologies for the very slow system, but now I've stopped sharing my screen. It probably worked like wonders now. Probably worked like wonders. Big up to Nippin, who says, big up Niall, I'm scared about Sunday. I don't think you should be scared. I think you should be excited. When do England get to play in a major tournament like we are on Sunday? Yeah, I think we'll be fine. Giorgio's mind games worry me. I don't think the players will get too bothered about it. I think he's spoken very highly about Harry Kane, and Harry Kane is a top talent. So I really don't think Kane will get worried about these mind games. Also, Jorginho Chiellini is about 37 years old, so I also don't think we should worry on that aspect. He spoke very highly of our defence. I think anyone would do. I think when you've conceded 1 goal in 6 games of the Euros, of course your defence is going to get spoken about. Look, we need to go play our game, enjoy the occasion, rise up to the occasion. I think that's one thing that we didn't do in the World Cup. Didn't rise to the occasion. We need to rise to the occasion. So yeah. I'm so scared for Sunday, Brazil, Argentina, such a big game. Yeah, we'll be doing a watch along this morning, actually. Well, tomorrow morning, 1 a.m. 1 a.m. on this channel, Brazil versus Argentina for a watch along. We're also live at 9 p.m. with the final preview, Euro 2020, the preview, and the big game. But that's all something else. Federer versus Rojo. And Kenny, can you stop putting disgusting comments? Okay, it does my head in now. Also, have you noticed the way we got to a final completely mirrors the way Croatia got to a final in 2018? No, it doesn't. So this whole myth that we've had an easy run, well, no, not really. We've had no much of a harder run than Italy. So Germany, let's look at Germany. You put them in a match against Belgium, it's probably a draw. Ukraine versus Austria, that's probably a draw, 1-0 win to one of the teams, or a high scoring, but only a couple of goals in it. Then you look at Denmark, Spain, where if you compare the two of them, you're probably getting a goal draw, probably getting a 2-2 or 1-1. So I don't think our run has been necessarily any harder than Italy. I don't think we've had an easy run. I think, yes, Germany was an extremely difficult game. We then had an easier game against Ukraine, followed by a fairly difficult game against Denmark. So this myth that we've had an easy run, all of that crap, I think is just really shit. I think it's a really lazy excuse. It's almost as saying, well, you should be in the final. And yeah, we should be. We're one of the top nations. So any run that we get should, in theory, be easy, you would think, because we're one of the top nations. So this whole myth that we've had a really, really easy run is absurd. Absolutely absurd. I mean, in the World Cup, we played what? Colombia, Sweden, Croatia. I think that was that our, it was probably someone else in the round of 16 or something like that. That was an easy run. Colombia are not a decent team, that's for sure. Croatia are decent, Scotland decent, Czech are decent, Germany good, Ukraine are okay. Yeah, I'd go with that. Denmark scored from a free kick, we equalised, and then we scored again in extra time. That's what I meant. Well, yeah, but I don't really think that matters. I really don't think that matters at all, Nipim. Trust me, I don't think that matters. Not at all. But let's talk about transfers. Let's start with Griezmann. The breaking news is Manchester manager Pep Guardiola has made contact with Antoine Griezmann over a move. Harry Kane is still the number one target, but the French striker could be an alternative. Now, what you make of this, so be it. This has come from Santi _J_FM on Twitter. Journalist, I'm guessing for probably Spain or something like that. Look, we know that Griezmann is on the list of targets for City. We know that Pep wants to have a forward come in. That doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a striker. Both Harry Kane and Griezmann can play that false nine role that Pep has sort of instilled onto this City team last season. So both signings would be good signings for City. Obviously, they do need to replace Sergio Aguero, but I don't think they're replacing Sergio Aguero with a Sergio Aguero. Now, I know that doesn't make sense. I don't think they're going to replace Sergio Aguero with another player that plays exactly like Aguero did. I don't think that. I think Pep's moved away from that sort of playing style, that sort of roll up the top. He wants his number 9, however you see it, to be able to create as well as score, help with build-up play, all of this. A very new sort of style, a new system. There's only in these sorts of times, in the sort of formations we play, there's only really come in really recently in terms of this whole. I know obviously Jurgen's done it with so Pep is now doing it at City. So I think Kane or Griezmann both fit that style of play that Pep wants to put into City. Which one do I think they'll get? I think they'll get Griezmann. If I'm being real, I think they'll get Griezmann for a lot less than Harry Kane would cost. Now, you can argue, is Harry Kane better than Griezmann? That's not a debate that I'm willing to have right now. But I think if City get Griezmann, what a signing that is. It's still a very good signing. Griezmann is still a top talent. So I really do think we should look at Griezmann as definitely moving to City. I'd be shocked, utterly shocked if he didn't go to City. That is for sure. Kenny agreeing with me, saying Griezmann will go to City. I think it would make more sense for all parties included. Let's move on from City though, and let's talk Damsgaard. Liverpool want Denmark forward Mikkel Damsgaard. Sampdoria won't let him leave for less than 34 million. The forward impressed the Reds in Euro 2020, but they face competition from Spurs. Well, that competition against Spurs is not really much of a competition. One has Jurgen Klopp and Champions League football. The other one has Nuno Espirito Santo, and are in the Europa Conference League. So the challenge, the competition is just not there. There is no competition. If Liverpool want Damsgaard and they're willing to pay the 34 million for Damsgaard, they'll get Damsgaard. Very simple. Tottenham can do nothing apart from hope that Liverpool won't pay 34 mil for Mikkel Damsgaard. Unfortunately for Tottenham, I think Liverpool will pay that, and I think Damsgaard will go to Anfield. And as I was saying in the sort of the intro, the beginning, I really want Damsgaard to go to Liverpool. Now, you may ask me why. I'm not a Liverpool fan. I'm not a United fan. In fact, I don't like any Premier League club. I'm an Argyle fan. So I can look at this sort of in terms of being neutral. And I think if you look at all the clubs there are, which club is best for Mikkel Damsgaard? Well, you have to ask yourself, which club are best with their youth players? Now, which are the best at getting the best out of players? Which are the best at developing players? And you look at the talent that Liverpool have brought through. Yeah, I think of Coutinho did wonders under Klopp. Mane done wonders under Klopp. Salah's done wonders. Has been amazing at times. So you look at all the players that have been brought through at Liverpool, obviously, again, Trent being the exception because Trent is just generational. I think Liverpool are best suited to get Damsgaard. And I would love to see Damsgaard. Firstly, I'd love to see him in England because he's really impressed me over the Euros. I've loved watching him. I think he's such an exciting talent. And a talent that I enjoy watching. Obviously, I did not enjoy his goal against us on Wednesday. But I just enjoy watching Damsgaard because he's got such an energy, such a rawness in terms of there's so much potential in this young man. When he gets the ball, he doesn't look intimidated by the situation. He looks composed, looks very calm in front of goal. You think about that free kick against England at Wembley in the semi-final of the Euros. That is incredible. How this young man has such a ability, a calmness, a composed young man to do that at Wembley in arguably his biggest game of his life so far, to be able to produce that bit of magic in the circumstances and the situation he did, I think deserves incredible praise. And I really do want to see him in the Premier League. And as I said, I want to see him at Liverpool because I think they're the best club for him. I think Man U and youth is not something I would associate at the moment. I think only Greenwood is the one who's come through United's Youth Academy. I think you look at the rest of them, Twanzebe, Brandon Williams, Diallo, all of the other young players. I mean, Chong and all of them, even Diego Dallo, they've not ever reached their potential. And that's horrible for me to say because I think United back in the day was all about youth. When Fergie was at United, it was all about youth, but that's simply not the case anymore. It's all about how shit can we be. And that is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in a nutshell. I have changed my opinion on him. I think he's doing if I was a United fan, he'd be doing my head in right now. He would be doing my head in. Forget second place. He'd be doing my head in. But yeah, that's on Damsgaard. As I said, I want him. I think he'd be a real talent. And I think Jurgen would do wonders with this guy. But next we'll talk about Saul Niguez. Chelsea and PSG have asked for Saul Niguez a few days back. There's nothing advanced between Liverpool and Atletico for Niguez. Liverpool will sign a midfielder only after they sign a winger. Obviously, you've got Damsgaard, who'd assume he play that wing role or something along them lines. We all know that Jurgen likes a very fluid sort of attacking in a way. And the way he has his team set up is slightly strange to how any other team does it. But that's what's made Jurgen and Liverpool so successful over recent years. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, is the saying. So do I see Saul Niguez going to Chelsea? It's a tough one, really. So I don't expect this was from Fabrizio Romano on Twitch, by the way. I don't know. That's the simple bit of this. Niall the flip-flop. No. Believe it or not, you are allowed to change your opinion. Now, I said you give Ollie time. Now, there is enough time, and I'm not saying sack him yet. He's got this year, hasn't he? So in terms of being a flip-flop, that would mean I go from one opinion to the other and back and forth. That's simply not how it goes. So I've had an opinion on Ollie that I think he should be given time, that he's a fairly decent manager. Now, if he goes to prove me wrong and he's not a decent manager, and that's not me being a flip-flop. That's me just saying, well, I got it wrong. I backed the wrong man. And you're allowed to do that. Obviously, in today's world, you're really not, because you'll be accused of being a flip-flop. But if you have an opinion and you got it wrong, just say you got it wrong. I got Ollie wrong. Maybe he's a manager. It appears that he won't be. Now, obviously, he could go on and win. And I could be wrong again. I could be wrong. He could go and win the Premier League next year. That would be incredible for him. And then my first instinct would have been correct. And this moment would be, well, maybe this would be wrong. If Ollie doesn't come to be successful, then, maybe my change of instinct was right. But at the end of the day, You're allowed to have an opinion, and you're allowed to change that opinion. You do know that. You don't just have to have one opinion, stick to it till the cows come home, right? If I said at the start of let's say Pereira, right? Let's say I said Pereira's going to be a well and absolutely amazing. Then I watch him play for a year or two, and he's shit. Am I not allowed to change my opinion? Essentially, what you're saying there. But yeah, as I was saying, Saul Niguez, nothing Chelsea and Liverpool, nothing with Saul and Liverpool at the moment. Chelsea looking at him now. If Chelsea don't get Haaland and they can't secure Kane, they're going to they're going to need to get some reinforcements in, and they're going to need to please their fans somehow. Now, Saul Niguez could do that, and they are looking for a DM. He's going to cost in the region of about 40 mil ish. Yeah, it's one of them. It's one of them that it's an interesting one. Chelsea do need that DM. I thought Chelsea were more after Declan Rice than Saul Niguez. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe Chelsea are looking more at Saul Niguez, and that leaves Declan Rice to potentially go to Old Trafford. I mean, it really depends on how this Camavinga sale goes, and if United get Camavinga, then where does that leave Declan Rice? Because he's not burnt his bridges at West Ham per se, but if United get Camavinga and Chelsea go get Saul, maybe Declan Rice goes to Man City, but it depends on if they can even afford him this summer, or Declan will have to wait another year and wait for one of these big clubs to have funds available to sign him next season. Most likely probably Chelsea, but if they got Saul Niguez, it's all working well. They got Billy Gilmore coming back in. Maybe they don't get Declan Rice. Maybe that does leave the door open to Manchester United, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But if Chelsea do get Saul Niguez, be a very good signing. I think it'd be a really good signing for that midfield. Where does that leave Jorginho, Kante, and Kovacic? Well, they have to fight. Now, Kante will fight that place, and I'm sure he'll do a great job. Jorginho will have to improve his game in the Premier League. He's done wonders for Italy, but I don't really see the same for Chelsea. Again, I could be wrong there. And Kovacic, I think Kovacic probably loses out. Probably maybe the big loser out of this. If Chelsea do sign Saul Niguez. What a signing that would be, though. Billy Gilmore out on loan, Saul Niguez coming in. Wouldn't be a bad move for Chelsea. Kenny says, no, you're never allowed to change your opinion. Unfortunately, that's where you want. Well, let's talk Paul Pogba, though. Let's talk Paul Pogba to Paul. It's just loading up there. You can see Paul Pogba's face there. So, Manchester United have valued Paul Pogba at £50 million this summer. That's according to El Equipe via the Mirror, who report the Reds will ask for a bid in the region of 50 million to sanction an exit for Paul Pogba, who is heading into his final year of his contract. It is also claimed PSG aren't put off by United's valuation of Pogba. So the Pogba situation is really, really interesting. Now, there's 3 things that could happen, right? So this one's a bit of a long one, a bit complex. There's 3 things that could happen. Option 1, Paul Pogba signs a new deal. United have convinced him that they've brought in enough players to be successful, challenge for the title. If they get Sancho, Camavinga, Varane, you would assume United could go, well, we've got the players now, Paul. You want to be successful, try us out, because we've got the players. We've got an exciting prospect in Camavinga. We've got Jadon Sancho, who's going to really help on the right-hand side. We've got a really experienced centre-back in Rafael Varane. So if United get all of them, they can walk up to Paul and go, look, we've done what we... apologies, it's all very late, Paul, but we have finally managed to secure the players that we need for a successful title chase. And now you want to leave. Why, Paul? Why would you want to go? We're on to something here. That's option 1. Option 2, United value him at £50 million. PSG are like, yeah, Sam, we're cool with that. Here's 50 mil for Paul Pogba, and Paul Pogba to PSG, and potentially, probably, most likely wins a Champions League with the team that PSG are assembling. Or option 3, Paul Pogba goes, no, I don't want to sign a new contract. You still stink of shit. I don't want to be here. Goodbye. But no, I don't want to go to PSG either. What I want to do is I want to sit around, wait around for the next year. I might help you. I might not. I don't know if I can be bothered to help you because I'm Paul Pogba. I won't be doing no defensive stuff for you because I don't want to be here. But I'm going to run my contract down and leave in the summer for free so that I can get lots of lovely money, and Mino Raiola can have a bath naked with $100 bill, or however many it would take to fill up his fat bath. So, yeah, one of 3 options. Most likely, I think it's either option, well, it could be any of the 3 right now. No one really knows what's going through Paul's head. Do I think, if United get Camavinga, Sancho, and Varane, I mean, that's 3 really good signings. Is it enough to convince Pogba to stay? Maybe, maybe not. It depends on how burnt these bridges are. If Pogba is his best midfielder in the world, if he leaves, he was shit anyway. We Pogba by De Jong. I mean, look, De Jong is a real talent, and I love De Jong. I think he's brilliant. I've loved him in the Premier League, and he fits exactly what Manchester United need right now, which is a defensive midfielder who is going to do the dirty work, but has an excellent range of passing. Now, the difficulty is United are... If City buy Griezmann, Barcelona don't need to sell De Jong, so you're going to have to pay full price. Now, last time I checked, his release clause was £162 million, I think. You could get De Jong. You could. It depends. If City get Kane and Barcelona still need to sell one of their big stars and no one's interested in Griezmann, you come in and say, here's 50 million plus Mata and Matic for Frankie de Jong. Do we have a deal? Barcelona probably look at the watch and go, we haven't got a lot left. We've got all of these players. We've got Sergio Aguero. We've got Depay. We've got Messi that we need to re-sign on new deals. We've got no other choice. Yeah, we'll accept that because we need the money. There are many different ways of looking at this. It's such a strange one, but you could definitely get De Jong if City don't get Griezmann and no one else buys a big player from Barcelona. Big up to Noel. Ivan Texu 182 says, Hala Madrid. I'm guessing you are a Real Madrid fan. What do you make of Varane leaving? Well, it's an interesting one. If you can understand my thick Southern accent, what do you make of Rafael Varane leaving Madrid, or do you think he is leaving? Do you think this has all been a ploy to get a better contract? I don't think it is. A lot of people reporting that it's not that Rafael really just does genuinely want a new challenge. But what do you make of Varane leaving? I don't get to speak to many Real Madrid fans, so I thought I'd chuck that in. And last but not least, let's talk Tavares. Now, hopefully nothing. There we go. I managed to fit it all in perfectly. Tavares. Arsenal have signed Tavares. Arsenal signed Portugal under-21 defender Nuno Tavares from Benfica. The 21-year-old is the Gunners' first signing of the summer, reportedly worth around $8 million. Will join up in his teammates in North London once he has completed his isolation period. Tavares came through Benfica's youth system and has made a total of 25 appearances for the club since making his first team debut in the Portuguese Super Cup win over Sporting Lisbon in August 2019. What concerns me is he's made 25 appearances in 2 years. Now, Arsenal getting someone extremely raw. How good he is, I honestly couldn't tell you. In fact, I'll help you that much. I don't even know what position this man plays. I'm about to go look that up. I know he's a defender because it said it. Let me just look up this. Nuno Tavares. There we go. Left back. So he's backup left back for Tierney then. So this is what Arsenal have done. They've signed Tavares as backup left back. Tierney, is this a good deal? Yes, I think it is. Now, Cedric is a right back, I believe. I think. So, yeah, it's not a bad signing. It's not, look, Tavares is I'm sure he'll be a talent. But I just don't know much about him. So we move. I don't really know much about Tavares. Naively, I don't really watch Portuguese Super League or League, whatever they call it. But look, it's a young player coming through with probably bags of potential and helps an injured Tierney. As Tierney is always injured. How much would De Jong cost? There's so many difference. Look, if no one, right, so there's two of them. So if no one buys Griezmann or any other big player, and Barcelona still need that money and then wages off their wage bill, probably looking 50, maybe 60 mil. If they do manage to sell Griezmann and they don't need the money, you're probably looking over the region of 100. 100, maybe 120. I think his release score is maybe 162. I don't think you'd have to pay that much, but yeah, it's very, very, very difficult to say, really, because buying a player isn't like going to a supermarket buying a chocolate bar. It's a little bit more complex than that. So no, I do hear that. It's a strange one. It is a strange one. But look, quit that. Right now, that might speed up the thing. I don't know what's been going on. Been really, really bloody shit. What I will do is I will put the link into the chat for you guys. Come on and have your say. There you go. I've just put the links into the chat. Yeah, you can talk about any of the stories that we're doing, that we're currently covering at the moment. And yeah, make sure that you keep it on topic and don't be disgusting. Kenny, I'm mainly talking to you when I say that. Also, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well if you are new. I was putting together flat pack furniture today and I was not having a good time. But we are joined by Chris, who is always having a good time, living rent-free in Gareth's head by the sounds of it. But we love Gareth, really. How we doing, mate?
Just my usual self. Yeah, everyone knows me.
Yeah, I mean, you're always a very excitable person, very excited.
Indeed.
About Bissouma. I'm joking. You compared him to Gemma Collins, which first time I've ever heard someone speak like that about Gemma Collins. So negatively. But what do you want to talk about? We got Antoine Griezmann, Mikkel Damsgaard, Saul Niguez, Paul Pogba, Nuno Tavares, or how shit Amazon flat pack furniture is.
Oh, I'll talk about all of them. Why not? But yeah, I'll start off with Damsgaard.
Yeah, Mikkel Damsgaard.
I've always been. It was actually I wanted to know my one to watch start of the Euros. From what I saw of him at Sampdoria. Yeah, I know people can say Sampdoria. He has done me probably a one-man team over there. But he's a talented player, and of course, I didn't like him storming then Suds.
Yeah, of course. No, look, what I said about Damsgaard earlier was, I think, every tournament there's always that breakout star. There's always that star that everyone watches going, he's going to be big. That's what I feel has happened with Damsgaard. I think he's such an excitable talent. I knew nothing of this guy before the tournament. I won't lie to you, I knew jack shit.
But you could say no one heard of Mikkel Damsgaard in the 2014 World Cup. And then
yeah, that's what I mean. There's always that breakout star, isn't there?
There's always that lift star because Mikkel Damsgaard had a breakout World Cup and then all of a sudden he went down pretty ill. Yeah,
look, of course that can happen. But I think the difference is Damsgaard at his age looks so good and so composed, and more importantly, if he goes to Liverpool, he's working with Jurgen Klopp, and people can banter, but Jurgen is one of the top managers for developing young talent.
Yeah.
So I think Damsgaard would do wonderfully at Liverpool.
I will definitely have him over 12-year-old Javier. Yeah.
So is Damsgaard a winger?
He's a winger. Well,
Yeah,
he mostly plays on the left wing.
Winger
on the left-hand side.
Winger / inside forward / whatever Klopp wants to really do with him. It wouldn't surprise me if he started. Could he go on the right? Is he left or right-footed?
Right-footed, from what I saw.
You've got a lot of people who can go on the left, but maybe not so many on the right. You've got Jota for the left, Mane for the left. Unless Jota can go on the right, can Jota go on to the right?
Yeah, he can go on to the right. Damsgaard, I think Damsgaard can still play on the right though, because it can easily develop into there on the right hand side.
Jurgen plays with a very fluid, a very flexible sort of lineup anyway. I don't think it would necessarily bother him too much. It is very fluid there. I just want to quickly go to Kenny before we go to the other stories. I want to talk Paul Pogba. What's your viewpoint that United have put a £50 million price tag on his head and they're saying that if you want him, just come get him 50 mil, we'll do a deal?
Well, I think that with Paul Pogba, I'm not very happy about it. I think 50 million is an absolute bargain for any side if they want him. And I think
I didn't even remove him. For the first time ever, Kenny wasn't actually acting like a twat. I didn't remove him. Big up to DC though. Big up to DC. I do want to touch on the point that he made though about it being ridiculously cheap. Well, yeah, but you're getting Varane ridiculously cheap for exactly the same reason, so they can't really complain about that too much.
Yeah.
But whilst we wait for Kenny to get back, Chris, talk to me about Paul Pogba. DC says, can't wait for you to get smashed by Italy. I don't think that's going to happen, buddy. It's going to be a close game. I think 1-0 win to England. I got removed for no reason. The fuck? You didn't. My hands were here. Like, I didn't touch the mouse once. So, yeah. Genuinely did not remove you. So, don't blame me. But Chris, channel your inner United fan. What would you make of Paul Pogba leaving this summer for 50 mil?
I've had my opinions on Pogba, and I have to be honest. He's not been world class since he joined Manchester United.
Yeah.
Not consistently. That's what I mean.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, he's shown hinted, but of course he's got that whack bad as his agent, Mayola.
Oh, God, yes, him.
I think that's the problem here. I think that's the problem. Mayola is trying to force Pogba to move out the club.
Yeah. No, I do.
That's what I think's happening. Because Mayola's been doing it. I haven't been doing it for a couple of years now. And imagine if he does PSG. Bloody hell. I have to put them to win the Champions League. Yeah,
PSG are going to look insane. But Kenny, we'll try again. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not actually touching the mouse. Mainly because I'm just relaxing. But talk to me about Pogba. 50 mil this summer, looking like he could go. PSG aren't put off by the valuation. Could you see Pogba going to PSG? If so, what's your feelings on that move?
I don't think he'll go to PSG because what I think will see without happening is that it'll drag on a lot because with United, PSG might offer 48 million. United will, and sometimes they price target.
No, Kenny. Believe it or not every team operates like United. If you say 50 mil, PSG will just give you 50 mil. They're not many clubs are run like Liverpool and United where they try and haggle the price down to as low as possible. PSG will just chuck you 50 mil. They'll write you a check. They'll be like, "Where do you want the check sent to?" 50 mil. Yeah, here you go. The PSG are they're willing to lose Mbappe for free, Kenny, next summer. Do you really think they give a flying shit about an extra 2 million?
Yeah, but the problem is that
there is no yeah, but.
No, the problem is that I don't think that PSG. I think we might drive up the price. I think this price is to try and get. Sometimes clubs release price to try and get more clubs.
No, Kenny, you can't physically drag it up anymore. You either accept 50 million for him now, or you lose him for 0. So United haven't got any operating power in this at all. If PSG come with you for £50 million, you accept £50 million because if you don't, no other club is going to pay more than 50 million for a guy who they can get for free next summer. They just simply won't do that. So you lose him for free. So let's say you're the boss at United, right? You're big man, you're big boss man, right? You get 50 million for Pogba that you could reinvest into the team, maybe get a Rice or whoever, go get a prostitute for Glazers or something like that. Or you lose him for completely free. Nothing. Zilch. No money at all. What do? Do you accept the 50 mil or the nothing?
I accept the new contract.
Well, no, I haven't given you that option. I've given you option 1, you get 50 million, or option 2, you get 0. Which do you go for?
I'm in big trouble if I speak. If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
How is that?
If Pogba leaves, then he's shit. If he's still
right, Chris, I'll go to you because you seem to have a better grasp of the English language. Right, you've got 2 options. Option 1, you lose Paul Pogba for free, nothing. Or option 2, you get £50 million for him. Which option do you go for?
You take the money, 50 million.
Exactly.
And try and strengthen elsewhere to use that 50 million. Simple.
See, Kenny, that was the easiest one. I don't know what Kenny's been in a weird mood for the past couple of days. It's doing my fucking head in now. It genuinely is. We're trying to have a serious conversation. He's just being a twat. It does my head in. But Chris, talk to me about Pep and Griezmann. Do you see Griezmann as the likely sort of candidate to go to the Etihad? It appears that Harry Kane is going to get priced out of a move from Daniel Levy. If we want to meet a bigger dick than Kenny, I mean, Daniel Levy certainly fits the bill. But what do you make of this? Do you see Griezmann going to City this summer?
I think Pep and Man City are the biggest hypocrites out there, saying they can't afford to buy a striker when they got the big old myopic checkbook with the owners. So
yeah.
I think they're a bit talking you're the nonsense there, if I'm being honest. Yeah. So, but yeah, Pep and Griezmann, because it's on Man City, paid that false 9 that mostly won them the lead when they changed to that. Yeah. And Griezmann compares a striker, compares a false 9 as well. Yeah. So I think it'd be perfect for Man City. I think does it say how much Barcelona want? I mean,
it doesn't, but I'm guessing in the region of 60, 60, 70 mil.
Yeah, it'd be what
Barcelona got more financial issues than me.
I think Barcelona will just take like 50 or whatever for him. Because and spend it on Messi.
It's wages, isn't it? It's all wages and all of that. It's utterly shocking sometimes.
I think Griezmann would be perfect for Man City.
Yeah.
If they don't continue playing that false 9.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, look, I agree with you completely there. I think He does fit City perfectly if they can't get Kane,
But-
which it's looking like they can't.
But there is a but. If
What's
that
the but?
false nine does get caught out, then you're in the mud, aren't you? You get exposed
Well,
to that. But Man
maybe.
City, it's Man City anyway. It's just a different
Maybe.
squad.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they would, but I think even Griezmann could play a striker role if needed. And let's face it, the false nine is something that Jurgen's been doing for the last many years now, and it's been very successful. But look, everyone's going to say, oh yeah, Pep created the false nine. Well, he didn't actually. It's been created way before now, but Klopp and Pep are really the first two to implement the false nine. I can't see United doing it because they've got an out-and-out striker in Greenwood and Cavani, so having a false nine at United and the formation, it wouldn't suit them. But this is what I enjoy about football, is every team has different tactics. Some tactics are better than the others. Sam Allardyce has park the bus football. Jose has terrorism football. Ollie has God knows what, counter-attack, I think. Ollie plays FM with counter-attack mode on. He's like, yes, boys, counter. Rashi, go running. Yep, Dan James, you go running as well. Greenwood, maybe. Run. Bruno, ping a long ball. Ollie does have a good counter. But Kenny, what do you make of Griezmann to City? Do you see that as a good move for both parties?
I think that personally, I don't really rate Griezmann that much, because I think since he's moved to Barcelona, of course we all know how much Barcelona ruined some players. For example, Coutinho, Dembele, etc. They've not done well, and I think that ruined him. I don't think he'll do well at Man City. And I don't think he's a very good striker anymore, to be honest with you. But I think he'll go to Man City, because the thing is that when you face, because he has decent numbers in La Liga, but the thing is he's not scored against a single top six side in La Liga last season.
It's okay. Neither's Bruno, and Bruno gets on just fine. So I'm sure
he did. He had Liverpool and then man. Bruno scored against Liverpool.
What in the Premier League?
And then Spurs.
So you got one goal. We're not classing Spurs as top six, surely.
He scored against Leicester.
Okay, either way, so he's got one goal in all the top six games. I'm sure.
He scored against.
No, hold on. Top six is City, United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal. Well, I don't even know you can put Arsenal in there, but we'll
top six.
Huh? No. The traditional top six, the big six.
Traditional top six. That includes Spurs.
I'm removing Spurs and putting Leicester in.
Right. Okay. So he scored. Was it 2 goals against Leicester or 1?
1.
Yeah, 1 goal against Leicester. Scored 1 goal against Liverpool. That's 2 goals already.
Hold on, no, in the Premier League only.
Yeah, he scored against them in the Premier League, mate.
When?
In the 4-2 loss.
Oh yeah.
He also scored. Who else did he score against?
So that's 2 goals. But he didn't score against. You got a goal. You got a goalless draw against City. No, he did not score. No, you got a goalless draw against Chelsea. No, City he didn't score. It was Luke Shaw and
the penalty.
No. Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, so he stat padded a penalty. Surprise, Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, 3 goals already, and then he also.
So 3 goals out of 12 games. I'm so proud of him. 10 games. 3 goals. 3 goals. 1 minute, Kenny. 3 goals in 10 matches against Big Six. Phenomenal numbers, mate. Phenomenal.
10 matches. Oh yeah,
but Kenny, are you new to football?
Well, you said it was 10, and then I got.
Well, it is. It is 10. You play each. No, it isn't, because you don't play yourself, do you?
Oh, fuck.
Fucking hell. This is like talking to an idiot. This is talking. No. Let me explain this to you, Kenny. So you had 2 games against City, so that's 2. You had 2 games against Liverpool, that's 4. You had 2 games against Chelsea, that's 6. You have 2 games against fucking Arsenal, that's 8. Then you have 2 games against Leicester. That equals 10.
We don't class Arsenal as big six, surely. We're not top six. I mean.
Well, there's been no other team consistently in the top 6. So Arsenal do continue to get that place.
Arsenal haven't been consistently in the top 6, though.
Doesn't matter. It's big 6. But look, we're
Can
putting
we get back to Griezmann? Can we just get back to Griezmann?
I will. I want to because your maths are horrific.
Bruno, man. Stop with the Bruno slander. He's amazing. He transformed Plymouth Argyle.
Well, duh. We're in League One, dickhead.
Yeah, no. But he'd get you
Fucking
in the Premier League. Top 2 in the Premier League, in fact. Actually, no, first in the Premier League he'd get there.
He couldn't even get United first in the Premier League, so I won't hold my breath. But back to Griezmann. Actually, let's move on from Griezmann. You were chatting some shit about him not scoring against big sides.
Shit, man. I can't lie. He is. Bruno's absolutely clear.
Imagine the audacity of a man who has Martial at that club calling him shit.
Martial's clear, man. Martial's will be the best player in the world.
Apologies, guys. I didn't realise Transfer Talk turned into the banter show. Or Comedy Roadshow. No, I can assure you, you have not tuned in to Michael McIntyre's Comedy Roadshow. That's just Kenny. Let's talk Saul Niguez. I want to talk a bit about Saul Niguez because there's a lot of talks around a couple of Premier League clubs about Niguez. Now, the first club, obviously, Liverpool. Fabrizio saying there's no contact, there's no advanced talks. Liverpool want to get a winger before they even look at that midfield. Chris, what do you make of Saul Niguez to Chelsea? Do you see Chelsea as a good alternative if he don't go to Liverpool for him? I mean, do you want him at Liverpool? What's your views?
Oh, I want him at Liverpool over bloody Renato Sanchez and Basuma. Fucking hell. Bloody Felder's plan having that overhyping bloody Sanchez, man.
Yeah, he does. He does love a bit of Renato Sanchez, doesn't he?
Because, yeah, I would want Saul at Liverpool because we guaranteed John Henson's not going to play the whole season because as much as I love Henson, he does get that occasion injury every season, which needs him out for a couple of weeks or even more. And imagine what in the squad: Fabinho, Saul, Thiago, Curtis Jones, etc. But yeah, at Chelsea, I think Chelsea's a good alternative for him. I mean, I think they do need to kind of improve that midfield because obviously B. Dillmore done the right thing, moving on loan to Norwich. I think Saul Niguez, I think being one midfield out, one midfield in for Chelsea. Dillmore out, Saul and fill that spot. Obviously, it will be a start. I think it'll be a start for Chelsea because I think Kante, he'll start with Kante in midfield, and I'll probably Mason Mount probably. And I think Jorginho, Kovacic. I mean, Kovacic's been underrated for Chelsea for a few years, but I think you don't think Saul Niguez probably is under that head of Jorginho, you'd think. And probably Kovacic as well. So I think that could be a good alternative for him at Chelsea. I think PSG been in for them as well, but we don't know what's happening with PSG at the moment, whether they're Pogba or Saul or whoever.
The PSG are looking like PSG are currently what I did on FIFA last night, which is having a little sort of look around. I'm buying a shit ton of players. But I want to go to Herbert next. Obviously, he's just joined us. Herbert, obviously being a United fan, I want you to talk to me about Paul Pogba. Right, so United has set the valuation of £50 million. Obviously, you either get 50 mil or you lose him for completely nothing next summer. So, what's your thoughts on this? Do you want Pogba to stay? Do you want him to go? Where are you standing on this?
Bit confused actually with Pogba because as a United fan, I want him to stay. But if he's staying, let's be honest, it's just for the money. because we can't compete for the Champions League and neither for the Premier League. We can challenge it, but we are not going to, push for it by any stretch of the imagination. But if he looks at PSG's project, I mean, you just mentioned the amount of players they bought. They certainly wants to win the Champions League, and he already won a World Cup. So most footballers want to end their careers with a World Cup and a Champions League. It's not a surprise. And at PSG, they are more than capable of doing it. Forget the French league. Even if they don't win it, like they will win it eventually. The last season was a bit of an exception, but yeah, listen. If you won the World Cup as a professional footballer who wants to compete for things, and especially with a talent like Pogba, the next aim has to be Champions League, and United can't provide that. We can provide 400 bags a week, but that should not be a motivation. Even if we, buy Varane, Camavinga, that's not going to be enough because you can't do what Chelsea do because Chelsea have a good manager. You can't just buy players and win a Champions League next season. So it's just if I'm Paul Pogba, I'll look to I will want to leave right in this window on good terms rather than running my contract down.
Yeah, I think what you say there about United, you're certainly towards the end of this project. You're certainly coming towards the end of this project where we're going to be successful. You've probably, I hope for your sake, you're near the end of it because you should be. Like with the team you've got, David De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, if you get Varane, Maguire, Shaw, Camavinga with Donny pivot with Bruno, Sancho, Rashford, Greenwood. I mean, you've got the elements of a really good team and get a bit of youth in there with obviously Ahmad and not sure who else really. But if you know what I mean though, if you get a bit more if you get a bit more depth into your squad, a bit more quality into maybe the subs bench, a bit more quality than Dan James, then I think United could potentially be challenging, maybe win a title. So you're definitely nearing the end of that project. As if Paul Pogba believes that you're anywhere near to winning a Premier League title because he's never won a Premier League title. So if he can win one of them at United, maybe you'd say it's well, since he had arrived, he had won a Carabao Cup, a Europa League, and an FA Cup. Did he win the FA Cup with? No, he didn't. He's won a Carabao Cup. What did Jose win? Did Jose win an FA Cup?
No, I don't.
He won a Europa League. And a Carabao
Cup. Jose won the Carabao Cup.
Because he keeps saying he won 3 trophies at Old Trafford.
He won the Europa League, the Community Shield, and the Carabao Cup.
Oh, fuck off. He's not... Right, okay, so he's won 2 trophies then.
2 trophies.
I always got confused. Like, when he kept saying 3, I was like, oh, he must have won the FA Cup. Didn't think he was class in the fucking Community Shield. I'm pretty sure he played Leicester in that game, didn't he?
Yeah, it was when they were crap.
What a fucking wanker. But yeah, no, I think it all depends on if Pogba believes in the project, and that I don't really know if he does. But we are going to wrap it up there because I keep looking at my...
No, I'm just saying if Pogba leaves this summer, I don't think we can bring any... I don't know. We can't bring any player to replace him because you need 2 players to replace him. And in this market, I don't see... Even if it's a free market, I don't see a talent like Pogba available right now. So
maybe not to the same extent of Paul Pogba, but you've certainly got a real talent in Donny van der Beek who, needs to get a bit more game time, who might not be the Paul Pogba in the world-class star. Of course he's not, he's Donny van der Beek. But Donny is still a real talent.
Exactly.
I think
he's a talent and he's but I do like Donny, but he just doesn't have the flair of a Paul Pogba. That's the only issue.
Of course he doesn't, and no one's asking him to, apart from United fans. The difficulty I have with Donny is if anyone's ever watched Donny, now I did because I loved Ajax's love story in the Champions League. I thought it was fucking phenomenal, so I watched a lot of Ajax then. If you watched how Donny played, he was not this creative master that United fans seem to think he is. What he is, though, is a really good player who can progress the ball forward very nicely, who will patiently wait for openings, will handle the pressure of having the ball in the midfield, is able to do the sort of defensive work as well as going forwards. He's got a bit of everything. Now, of course, as you said, he's not the Paul Pogba player that everyone thinks he is. He's not Paul Pogba, right? Donny van de Beek is Donny van de Beek. That's like saying that, and I'm not having to go at you for this, it's like when people go, well, is Greenwood a Cavani? Well, believe it or not, Mason Greenwood is Mason Greenwood, and Edison Cavani is a beast, right? So, first of all, let's not compare them. Second of all, Cavani is just insane. I love Cavani. I think the disrespect that he got, could he do it in the Premier League? He could do it with one hand tied behind his back. In fact, actually, in today's game, that's beneficial if you can have your right hand tied behind your back, because you don't get handballs, do you? But look, I think Donny is a real talent. I think you would need to get someone else in the market. Another one like Donny, but maybe a bit more of a creator. But you got Bruno for that. So you sort of are replacing Pogba, because you got Bruno and Donny who can do the Pogba role. And let's be fair, how many times that season did we see Pogba playing the double pivot? Never.
Yeah, but Ole don't really rate Donny like that. He's like fourth in that list. So in the list of midfielders. So
just
United,
just sack Ollie and get me in. I'll happily manage. I'll manage it.
United.
I'll win you the Premier League title before Ollie would. Guaranteed.
Yeah, definitely. You can just wing it.
Costs.
All I require is an empty checkbook from the Glazers.
Also, with United's transfer window right now, I feel it's a bit of a permutations game, because we are in for Varane, Camavinga, and we want to keep Paul Pogba. I don't think we can do all three. I don't even think we can do even two. I think out of those three things, only one is going to happen. So it's worrying sign.
It is a madness, but look, we'll watch with intrigue how this summer goes for United and their fans. But as I say, we are going to wrap it up there. I want to go play my new game. But before we go, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to our channel with notifications on. We're back tonight at 9 p.m. for the Euro 2020 final preview. Italy versus some team called England. I have no idea who they are. They keep telling me it's coming home. That's because it is coming home, bitches. Now, Chris, where can they find you, mate?
Find me on YouTube at Chris Wells, and find me at Twitter at Chris Wells 96.
Perfect. Kenny, where can they find you?
You can find me at Sancho TL, TPL, Canadian, and YouTube, and you can have them. And you can also find me singing, "It's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming, football's coming home."
Kenny, all I'm gonna say, is I've been more in tune for that song when I'm drunk.
Sterling Street, go! Then he blew the Germans away. Then we smashed the Ukraine. Then
there we go. But until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Kenny's back.
Then we time past the Danes.
No, Kenny, I'm wrapping up. Goodbye. But yeah, we're back late. We're back later tonight. But until then, thanks for watching, guys, and peace out.